Good morning, students. Welcome in this class. This is class 8, subject Social Science, and we are studying about History chapter 4, Tribal, Dikus and the Vision of Golden Age. It is the second lecture of this chapter, and in today's lecture, we will discuss about the topic like how did colonial rule affect tribal lives, and under this topic we will discuss what happened to the tribal chiefs, what happened to the shifting cultivation and new forest laws which were imposed by the British government on the forest land and their impacts on tribal society. But before start to today's discussion, first we will recapitulate our previous topics in brief. Yes friends, in our yesterday lecture, we discussed about the topics like meaning of tribal and Dikus and how did tribal groups live. So yes friends, as I told, tribal society or tribal means the people those who live in forest. Means they live in forest and completely dependent on the forest product for their livelihood. And the second term which was used in our previous lecture, Dikus. Yes, I told that Dikus means outsider. And in this chapter, Dikus word is especially referred or used for the Britishers. Okay, so but after arrival the Britishers in India, okay, how did the life of the tribal people get changed? And before this, means before the arrival of the Britishers, how did tribal groups live? So we have discussed in our previous lecture, like before the arrival of the British in India, that some of the tribal community that they practiced shifting cultivation, means they were jhum cultivators, and some were hunters and gatherers, some herded animals, some practiced cultivation. So who were these jhum cultivators? Actually the tribal people, those who practice shifting cultivation, means for cultivation they cleared a patch of forest land, and that patch of land were used by the tribal people for cultivations to grow crops. And in shifting cultivation, the tribal people, they did not grow or sow the seeds, they just scattered the seeds, okay, and the ash of the burnt tree was used as manures, means they didn't use any fertilizer. So after some times when this part of land loses its fertility, then these people, this tribal community shifted to the another part of forest land and they cleared that another part of forest land. So in this way this is known as shifting cultivation. Understood? And some were hunters and gatherers, means they hunt the animals, okay, and means they earn their livelihood by selling the products which they got from these animals like honey, milk, okay, ghee, or the skin of the animals, means many other products which they got from these animals by hunting animals. So they sold these products to the other communities or in the market, and in this way they earned their livelihood. And they miscollected some forest products, okay, like vegetables and fruits, okay, and in these tribal communities some herded animals. Understood? Okay, and in this means those who herded animals, in which the main were there one Gujar of Punjab and Labadis of Andhra Pradesh. They were cattle herded. So students, you must know about, if it is asked, can name the two categories of the tribal communities, those who were herd, that means those who herd animals. Okay, so in which one Gujar of Punjab and Labadis of Andhra Pradesh, they were cattle herders. And the Gadis of Kullu Valley, Gadis of Kullu Valley. Gadis was the, you can means name of the tribal communities, those who lived in the Kullu Valley. So the Gadis of Kullu Valley, they were shepherd, means, and means they reared sheep. And Bakrawals of Kashmir, as the name suggests, that they reared goats. So beta, means all these people that they lived a nomadic life, but after some times some of the community, they started to settle down at some particular places. So today now we will read about these communities, and they started to practice settled cultivation. Understood? So let's start today's discussion. Yes, some took settled cultivation. So many tribal groups had begun to settle down instead of moving from place. They began to use the plough and gradually got rights over the land they lived on. Yes, as I told that most of the tribal communities lived nomadic life. But after passing some times, some tribal groups, they started to live a settled life. Okay, means they started to live on a particular place. They lived there. They left their nomadic lives. So they began to use the plough and gradually got rights over the land they lived on. Yes, as I told that first they practiced shifting cultivation, and in which they didn't use any fertilizers, they didn't plow the field, they just scattered the seed. But when they that started to live settled life, so they began to use the plow the land and started to grow the seed also. Okay, and gradually they got rights over the land, ownership of the land, particular part of land in which they grew crops. Understood? Yes, few tribes such as Mundas considered the clan rights over land and assumed the land to be belong to the whole clan. Yes, the Munda clan, I told you about the Birsa Munda also, those who the person who belong to the Munda tribal communities. So Munda communities, means Munda tribal communities were the first who started to live settled life. Okay, who started to practice settled cultivation, and they means these communities, this clan had rights over the land and assumed the land to be belonged for the whole clan. Okay, yes, British officials saw settled tribal groups like the Gonds and Santhals as more civilized than hunter-gatherers or shifting cultivators. Easterns, like Munda's tribal communities, some other tribal communities were also there, those who started to live settled life, and in which Gonds and Santhals were there. Okay, means Gonds and Santhals were also the tribal communities, those who started to live settled life. And the British officials, they observed, they saw that the people, the tribal communities, those who lived settled life, they were more civilized than hunter and gatherers or the jhum cultivators or the shifting cultivators. Understood? Yes, extraction of huge revenue was also done from the tribal, and in case of non-payment of revenue, their lands were taken away and it became the reason of discord. Yes, friends, just I told you that some tribal communities, those who started to live settled life, then they got the right of land also. Means they got the right of ownership of the land. So means now they have some permanent part of land with them. Ownership of that permanent land with them. So for that, they had to pay some taxes also. Means British government imposed some taxes on this land which were used by the tribal communities for cultivation. And in the case when these tribal communities unable to pay the taxes of this land, so their land were taken away, and this is the main reason that means of the dissatisfactions of the tribal communities against Britishers. So understood? Yes. Now, how did colonial rule affect the tribal lives? Yes, friends, in our previous lecture, we have studied that before the arrival of Britishers in India, the tribal communities lived independent life. Okay, independent and happy life. But when Britishers came in India, so they made many new laws and policies. Okay, so they made some rules and regulations, new policies related to the forest lands also. Okay, so under this colonial rule or the British rules, the tribal people lives got change. So now we will discuss how did colonial rule, how did British rule affect the life of the tribal communities. Yes, the lives of the tribal groups changed during British rule. Their faith were tried to be changed as Christian missionaries, and laws related to forest had direct impact on their traditional rights. Yes, friends, the main actually, as I told you in your previous lecture that the tribal communities had different follow different rituals, sacrifices, and they had different culture. Okay, means their culture were different from Indian society, which were followed by especially Brahmins. So means when the Britishers came, as we know, the main religion of the Britishers means Christian. They were Christians. So means these Christians missionaries, they started to spread their religion also, religious teachings also in India, and they started to convert. They forced these tribal communities to follow Christianity. Okay, so in this way, the laws, the policies which were made by the Britishers means they had direct impact on their traditional rights. Understood? Now, what happened to the tribal chief? Yes, friends. Before the arrival of the British in many areas, the tribal chiefs means head of the tribal communities. So these tribal chiefs had their own importance. Okay, they had some economic powers and control over the territories under them. Means in some communities, the group of communities, they had one leader which was known as a tribal chief. Okay, and this tribal chief had some particular areas in which they had some economic power and control over these areas or the territories which were under them. So at some places they had their own policies also. During the British rule, what happened? Means during the British rule, they lost some of their powers. They were allowed to keep control over villages and rent out the land, but they lost their administrative powers and were forced to follow British rule. So understood, students? Means under British rule, the functions and the power of the tribal chiefs changed as they were allowed to keep their land title but lost their administrative rights and were forced to follow laws made by the British official in India. Means under the British rule, now tribal chiefs, they had only nominal head. They had no power. They had only means they were only nominal heads of their territories. Their power were taken by the Britishers, and now this power were under the British government or British officials, and these tribal chiefs were forced to follow the laws which were made by the British officials in India. So the first change we have studied what means the change in the tribal society under the British rules were there, that the missionaries means the missionaries started to spread that Christian teachings in India or in tribal communities. They forced the tribal communities to follow Christianity. So, and these things means they had these things had direct impact on the religious feelings or religious traditions of the tribal communities. And the second change which came under the British rule in the tribal communities was that means the power of the tribal chief changed. Okay, means now these chief were only nominal head and the real power was in the hand of the British officials, and these chiefs were forced to follow laws made by the British official in India. Now the next point, rules made by the British took over the entitlement and power to administer to the forest area. Already we have discussed, means the British official, they took the power of the tribal chiefs. Okay. Now, what happened to the shifting cultivation? Yes, our next topic is what happened to the jhum cultivators under British rule. Yes, I told you that before the arrival of the Britishers, many tribal communities, they practiced shifting cultivations, and in which they cleared a patch of forest land and which was used for cultivation. Understood? So, but after the arrival of the British in India, so the life of this shifting cultivation also got changed. Now we will study how. What happened to the shifting cultivators? Yes, the British were uncomfortable with the shifting cultivators as it was more easy to control a settled group. Yes, friends, as we know, the main purpose of the British government to earn profit money, and for that they imposed many taxes. They imposed taxes on agriculture also, on the forest also, on the tribal communities. Okay, so means the British were uncomfortable with the shifting cultivators as it was more easy to control a settled group. Okay, so means in shifting cultivation, because the people that they shifted from one place to another, so in this way it was very difficult to collect the taxes from the tribal communities or from these jhum cultivators. So for that, or to solve this problem, that British government, what did the British government do? The British government that they gave the right of land to some tribal communities to get regular revenue or income. So the British wanted to regular revenue source for the state and introduced land settlement. Yes, friends, land settlements means now they decided that, or means they gave some particular part of land to some particular tribal communities or to particular people. Okay, now the tribal people had ownership of particular part of land in which they grew crops, and for that they had to pay some taxes to the British government. Understood? So the British efforts to settle jhum cultivators was very not successful in northeastern part of India as the land was not fertile enough. Understood? Yes. After facing widespread protests, the British had to allow them the right to carry on shifting cultivation in some part of the forest. Okay, so the British were of the view that shifting cultivators should settle down at a fixed place. So they wanted them to work like farmers' cultivators as it was easy to control and administer the settled species. So the British wanted, as I told, that British wanted regular inflow of income. So they measured the land and fixed the revenue, and the right over the land were defined, and some of the people were declared owners and other were tenant. Okay, so now and the British efforts to settle jhum cultivators was very not successful. And what were the reasons behind it? Actually, plough cultivation was not successful in dry areas where water was scanty or less. So some of them faced difficulty with the plough cultivation as their fields did not give good production. So when the tribal communities which got the part of land which was not fertile, so for that they didn't get enough production, good production, and they unable to pay the taxes to the British government. So for that, in many parts of the central India, then these jhum cultivators, they started protest against the Britishers. Okay, now we will study about it. Okay, so so these jhum cultivators of northeast insisted on shifting cultivation. So the Britisher, after facing revolt, I told you that in some areas this tribal communities started revolt. So the Britisher, after facing revolt from these jhum cultivators, they had to allow them to continue with the practice on some patches of forest land. So when the British government, when the tribal communities started revolt, so in some areas the British government again allowed to practice shifting cultivation only in some parts. Okay, yes. Now what else was affected their life? Now we will study about it, and these were forest laws and their impact. Okay, so the British government the main aim of the British government was earned to profit. Okay, so for that they made many new rules, regulation and forest laws. Okay, so what were these forest law and what were their impact on tribal communities. Yes, the life of the tribal groups was directly connected to the forest. This I told you, means before the arrival of the British, tribal communities were completely dependent on the forest. The British extended their control over all forest and declared them as state property. Yes, as I told that the administrative power or the economic power of the tribal chief were taken by the British government, and now British government had control all over forest, and some forests were declared as state property, means the property of British government. So the reserved forests were for producing timber, which was the British wanted, but for the purpose of cheap labor, the forest villages were settled within the forest. Okay, the reserve forests were, and the forests which were reserved, in which that tribal people were not allowed to move freely or practice jhum cultivation. Okay, so in the forest which were reserved, they had great you can say source or amount of timber, which was very you can say expensive or important wood, okay, which was used to make furniture and for the railway sleepers also, or for many other products. Okay, so in these forests which produce timber, in these forests tribal people were not allowed to move freely, and they were not allowed to practice jhum cultivation also. So this law impacted the very survival of tribal, as they were mainly dependent on forest and its products. So the many tribal groups reacted against this colonial forest laws and rose in an open rebellion. So means many tribal communities were not satisfied with this law which were imposed by the Britishers, and so they started revolt, okay, in many part against these rules. So many tribal communities reacted. They started revolt against this colonial forest law, and this revolt rose in many parts. Okay, so in this way our today's topic is completed. Now I will assign you some homework. Like first question, what problems did shifting cultivators face under British rule? And second, how did the power of tribal chiefs change under colonial rule? Why did the British want tribal groups to settle down and become peasants cultivators? What problems did the British face after they brought changes in the forest law? This I told that many tribal communities started to revolt. How did shifting cultivation practice? So these are some questions, and the answers of this question you have to write in your fair notebook, and you have to submit your homework next day before 8 o'clock on my email ID, which already I have told you, that is moreneetu@yahoo.com. Now we will have a discussions on the homework solution of our lecture 1, in which the question answer which were given to you solve, in which first is there, who was Birsa? Yes, Birsa belonged to a family of Mundas, a tribal group that lived in Chota Nagpur Plateau. Second question, mention different types of activities where tribal people were involved. Yes, some practiced jhum cultivation, some were hunter and gatherers, some herded animals, and some took to settled cultivation. Next, what is the other name of jhum cultivation? Shifting cultivation. Who was the outsider being referred to as Dikus? Yes, traders, moneylenders, missionaries. Means those who were the missionaries? Those who spread their religious teachings in other religious communities. Hindu landlord and the British, especially Britishers, were outsiders being referred to as Dikus. When did Birsa die and how? Yes, Birsa died of cholera in 1900. So friends, in this way our today's lecture is completed. Tomorrow we will meet again with the next lecture of this chapter. Thank you.